Yeah, retiring from the game that ultimately I've been doing my whole life, and I got interviewed a couple days ago about it, and I said it was a tough pill to swallow, which it is because I've loved the game so much, and it's brought me around the world. It's allowed me to meet some incredible people. It's allowed my family to see the world, and it's been a wonderful experience. And so, being a tough pill to swallow, just to the fact that I love the game so much, I dedicated a lot of hours to the game, and it's meant a lot to me. So it's time to hang it up and start a new adventure here, a new chapter in life, and I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah, that's about it.
What is the plan moving forward for you?
There's a couple opportunities that are floating around out there right now. I have to sit down with my wife and talk to her. She's finishing up her medical rotation here in Fargo, and she finishes that in May, and so we got to balance her job and some opportunities that could arise here in the future, and we just got to discuss that and figure things out.
What was kind of the deciding factor for you to retire?
Um, Honestly, I was sick of being away from my family. I spent 2 years living apart from my wife, and over time that starts to eat at you. Obviously, I would have loved to keep playing. I definitely still can keep playing. I had an injury this past year. I ruptured my plantar fascia, and some people thought that's why I stepped away, and that's definitely not the reason. I'm healthy now, and my body feels great, but it's more just about my family, and gotta look out for the family first, and that's why I decided to step away.
So do you still feel like you'd be able to play at the same level?
Absolutely, there's no doubt. Just because I'm 31 going 32, I'd still take it to some of those 21-year-olds. That's just my opinion, but yeah, I think, like I said, I felt great. I was having a pretty solid year down in New Zealand, where I was playing with Kirk Penny, and they have a wonderful program down there. But I was playing really well. I felt great, and it's unfortunate that I had that injury happen. Being my last year that I'm playing, and during the season, I want to let it known that I wasn't thinking about retirement. I mean, I thought I was going to keep playing. I love the organization down there. And so this decision wasn't wake up one morning and I'm going to be done playing basketball. It was more of I got done, I came back to the States, been with my wife for, a couple months now, following her around on her medical rotations, and we just kind of talked things over, and ultimately I think that's the best decision for myself, for my family, and, that's why it was made. But, I think for sure I could still play, but it's more family based and just settling down and starting a new chapter.
Usually ask like really old guys this, and not that you're that old, but what do you feel like your legacy is, or what do you feel like you set one? Is it kind of strange to think about that?
I just want people, and I hope people realized it, but just how hard I worked. I mean, you can look back on, the shot, the NCAA tournament, and a great run our senior year, and those things were great, but what people don't see is the stuff that's behind the scenes, and that's being in this, not this facility, but the old BSA, how many hours I spent in there working on my game by myself, and that's a lot of things that people don't see, and I think that's something that people should know, coming from a guy that's spent so many hours in there and dedicated a lot of his time to the game of basketball.
So you're stepping away from playing. Do you see maybe basketball in your future in terms of coaching or anything like that?
Yeah, that's a possibility. As of right now, Luke Mormon, my old big man, and myself are running some satellite basketball camps this summer. I know for a fact basketball will continue to be in my life. There's no question. It's not like I'm stepping away and I'm never doing anything about it again. But coaching, it's a possible option. Obviously, I have to think about some things, talk to my family about it. But basketball is always going to be in my life. It's always going to be a part of my life. And so, I'm always going to try to hold on to it, whether it's, I'm coaching kids, I'm helping kids, running camps, doing that kind of thing. Basketball will always be in my life.
What do you take away from your time overseas? What could you tell someone that maybe has that same opportunity in front of them?
Yeah, I mean, go get it. Absolutely. I'm all about it. I'll never forget, I was going over to France for the first time, and I'm at Hector International. My parents are up here. My wife's here. And I'm ready to get on the plane, and I just start bawling. And I'm just like, what's going on? Like, I was excited. I get to the airport. I'm pumped to go. And all of a sudden, I just started, bawling because I didn't know what to expect. I mean, being a kid that was hardly ever out of the United States, I'd never been to Europe. Going over there, I don't know anyone. Don't know my teammates, my coaches. Nobody speaks English. And so I was a little overwhelmed right away when I was heading over there. But as soon as I got there and got settled in, it was phenomenal. So I encourage people, if they have the opportunity, absolutely. I would go over there. I'd do it all over again in a heartbeat. And you learn a lot about yourself. You learn a lot about other people. And you learn a lot about the world that not a lot of people can see and not a lot of people understand. So I think it's a cool experience. I think a lot of kids would enjoy it, and you can take away a lot from it.
You look back on your class kind of plays that trail in the Division I era at NDSU. And you look at it now, and they've established themselves as a pretty solid mid-major. Do you kind of look back at that with kind of pride and saying, "Hey, we were the first class. We had to play at NJIT and some of the places and see where the program's at now."
Yeah, and each class is different, I mean, each class brings a different chemistry, a different group dynamic. I think what's cool about our class was the fact that we're a Division II program. We're going to the Division I level, and there's some people out there that didn't think that was a good idea, and they thought, why is NDSU, going Division I? And we came in and we wanted to kind of pave the way for Division I athletics, along with the football team, and pave the way for Division I in Fargo. And so I think that's just a transition from a Division II program to a Division I program. I think that's the difference in how we had to sacrifice. We weren't eligible until our fifth year, and there was a lot on the line in terms of going to the NCAA tournament. For one opportunity. We only got one shot. We all agreed that that's kind of our one shining moment to try to get to the NCAA tournament, and so that's a little different. Those are the little differences than classes that came after us, and they always had the opportunity and they could have the chance of going to the tournament, where we only had one opportunity and a lot of sacrifice and dedication to try to get there.
You're still the last player in Division I to score 60 points in a game. Do people come up and ask you about that game still?
Yeah, quite a bit. It happens where actually guys overseas start hearing about it, and they don't believe me right away. They said, "There's no way you did." And but yeah, people ask me about it, and I honestly don't remember much about it. The one thing I do remember is I had an interview. I mean, besides shooting a lot of free throws, I had an interview with Scotty Miller, good old Scotty Miller, after the game. And I think Drake or someone else were warming up because it was a tournament. And the crowd was starting to fill in. The student section was packed. And I get up from the interview with Scotty, and I'm walking out, and they had a standing ovation. And so it was pretty incredible that you're at a away tournament, and there's two other teams playing, and the crowd gives you a standing ovation after you walk out. But unfortunately, the L still is the main factor in my mind rather than the 60 points.
As you know, Coach Richmond is a big culture guy, and as you look back at your career, do you think that your career kind of epitomizes what he wants in recruits and in his players, is blue-collar kids who work through adversity to make the most of what they have?
Absolutely. I think that NDSU has a great culture of family, hard work, dedication. I held myself accountable to do those things, and I think Coach Richmond does a great job with the guys instilling those values. And I think that having that type of culture brings success. And so I think Coach Richmond does a great job doing that. I feel like when I was playing, I held those same type of values, held myself accountable, worked hard, and you can see that in the players now at NDSU, and hopefully players continue to come through the program like that. But that's a key piece to a winning, successful basketball team, is having that culture, that type of family, that dedication, great character type guys that will bring success.
What do you think of the improvements they've had since you left, like this facility you're in right now?
It was funny. Coach Richmond, I met him a couple weeks ago here, and he allowed me to walk around with him. I've never seen the facility until a couple weeks ago, and I just kept going, I can't believe this. This is unbelievable. And eventually I go to him, you know what? It's great. It's an amazing facility. I wish I could have played in something like this. Kind of get a little bit upset that I didn't have the opportunity to play in something like this, because I remember our gym was bleachers, wooden bleachers, bricks falling down, and this is an amazing facility, though. I think it's a great recruiting tool for NDSU. They got a lot of different things under one roof. Amazing weight room. The training room is unbelievable. I mean, they got stuff in there that NBA teams have. Their practice facility, I've been to a lot of NBA arenas. I've been to a lot of college arenas. Their practice facility here is just as good as an NBA team, if not better. And I've seen 15 different NBA arena practice facilities. So it's a phenomenal place here. The gym's great, and I hope people continue to come here and support NDSU basketball, because this is quite the facility they have.